Hello everyone and happy Friday. It is February 9th, 2024. My name is Kyle. This is Mrs. Olson and it's time for Maker Notes. So today we're going to talk about this really great new cowl that Andrea Mowry just came out with. Mrs. Olson is wearing the one that I knit. It's called the Traveler. And the Traveler is an awesome pattern. It is super simple, uses very basic skills, cast on, knit, purl, a little increase. So you need to do a make one right purl wise, I think, but there's a little tutorial and stuff in the pattern that will help you figure out how to do that. And it's worked flat back and forth using whatever yarn you want to use. And we decided to celebrate this really awesome yarn from Sheppel. It's called Alb Zauber Extra. And each ball of this looks a little bit different, but the color sequence in a colorway is kind of the same. So it's 4 balls of this to make one of the Traveler, and you'll have a little bit left of that 4th ball. This is color 2533. That's the one that I used. And it begins, in the back neck. Can we borrow this, Mrs. Olson? Begins in the back and grows and grows and grows and works its way around until you bind off. And the bind off is an I-cord bind off right here. And then you mattress stitch the two together so that little I-cord carefully and cleverly conceals the seam. Well, it doesn't conceal it, but it sort of accents the seam. It looks really cool. The only thing that I found it was confusing. It isn't really confusing, but a tip, I guess, because it's really easy to get mixed up between, here is the front of the piece. So you can see it's stockinette and reverse stockinette. And this is the back of the piece, or the wrong side. And it's also stockinette and reverse stockinette. So what I did is I took a safety pin, a little stitch marker, and sort of pinned that to, and I chose the wrong side because that's what I did. And I just pinned it to the wrong side of my work down here. And that way, when I picked up my piece and looked at it right away, I could tell if I was on the right side or the wrong side. And it just helped me keep track of where I was in the pattern. Maybe you don't need to do that, but I did. So anyway, this is an awesome pattern. It is our gift to you when you buy 4 or more balls of this really awesome yarn. So what's the yarn made of and all that stuff? So this is the yarn again. This is 75% virgin wool, which means it's the first shearing. And then it's 25% biodegradable nylon. Now, what's biodegradable nylon? Well, it's nylon that biodegrades, right? But so in a landfill, it takes, I don't know, 7 years or something for it to decompose, degrade, as opposed to hundreds of years probably for traditional nylon. So it is a nice thing. So after you're done loving this for years or decades or centuries or whatever, when it finds its way into the landfill, it won't stay there for centuries. As it slowly degrades, it goes away more quickly, right? So 4 balls of this, Alb Zauber Extra, is 15% off now through Sunday. Buy 4 of these or more, and we're gonna gift you the pattern. How do we do that? Well, we're gonna go onto Ravelry for you. So if you have a Ravelry ID, tell us what your name is there, and we'll put the pattern into your library. And if you don't have Ravelry or you don't use it, that's okay. We will purchase the pattern for you and send it to the email that you use when you check out for your order. We'll print a copy of that pattern and include it in your shipment as well. So all you'll need to do is grab a needle and a stitch marker and a safety pin if you want to mark the front or back of your piece, and you'll be ready to go to dive in. Other colorways. So Liz knitted one as well. Here's a second version of it. Shall we trade up? So Liz made the largest size. I made the little size one below that. So this one is just a little bit bigger, but it still takes just the 4 balls of the yarn. And so that is the, look at me for a second. Let's get you presentable for everyone. So, trying to dress Mrs. Olson isn't always the easiest thing in the world, but there you go. So that's what it looks like. That's the blue. The blue one looks great with jeans and all that. This is color 2532, and this is what the blue might look like. And again, each one of these balls is a little bit different, so they are all very related. It's all the same colors, but one ball to the next, they're gonna be a little bit different. So you'll need 4 balls. This again, color 2532. There's only 6 colors here, so I'm gonna show you all of them. This is color 2529. So it's a little deeper in jewel toned. Then there is a purpley one for our purpley loving friends, color 2534. So it's got some blues in it as well. You could put them together if you wanted and do stripes or something too if you want. They don't all have to be the same, but if they are all the same, you'll get sort of this look of, kind of looks like hand-dyed maybe, or hand-spun, but it's not exactly. You didn't have to spend all that time spinning unless you wanted to. I mean, it would be an awesome piece in hand spun. So this one again, color 2534. Then there's this one, a very party looking one. This is, and it's called Garden Party, 2355. There's that one. It's got some yellow in there. And then the last one is looks more sort of earthy tones. So there's some browns and greens. This is 2531. So there's that. So those are the 6 different colors of this really beautiful yarn. 15% off now through Sunday, and buy 4 or more balls of the yarn, we're gonna give you the Traveler pattern by Andrea Mowry. So that is the exciting pattern for now. And I'm making another one already, so it's a really fun pattern, very easy to do, and it looks really lovely. So if you want to be successful, do an easy pattern, right? Next up, we're going to talk about Barello knits. This is a really fun book and a technique, so it's kind of a class. This is by Patty Nance, and this book happens to be autographed, so yay, a little bit of knitting celebrity here. So Patty Nance explains in this book what Barello knitting is, and essentially, let's see if I can show you. This is sort of one of the ways you can do it. So it's dividing a color changing yarn up into sequences and then altering those sequences to create all kinds of patterns. So that's all the same yarn knitted by starting the little individual balls differently. So it uses elements of intarsia and a little bit of clever planning to make some really interesting things. Like here's some socks that do that kind of technique. So if you'd like to learn about Barello and go through a few different patterns and stuff, this is a great book for you. So grab that. We got just a few of these available. And then the last thing, I have a whole bunch of them here, but I'm just gonna grab this one. So sorry if this one is sold out by the time you get onto our website. But these are the little yarn cozies. These are from Buffy Ann Designs. And they're awesome for when you've wound your yarn into a cake and then you want to keep it wrangled. So they are little sort of cozies for your yarn. So you put your cake of yarn inside this little sleeve and then work from the center or whatever. And it helps to hold the cake in place. There are 3 of them in each of these packages. There's a whole bunch of different designs we have for you. So you can take a look, choose your favorite, and have those ready for when you're ready to knit with the yarn that's in a cake. Other stuff, Maker's Night. Brandon is gonna be here. I'm excited to get to hang out with Brandon. Maker's Night this time is going to be in the morning here on the Pacific Coast, the Pacific Northwest. It is on February the 13th, 8 to 9 a.m. Pacific time. So make sure that you come join us that morning if you're able to. Brandon is an amazing designer and amazing human being, and it will be very exciting to get to spend some time laughing with him, probably, because it's what we do usually when we get together. So anyway, that is it. Hopefully you love this project as much as I do. Go grab that yarn, get it ordered so that we can get that shipped out to you quickly. The sale, 15% off, it's going to run through Sunday. And again, if you buy 4 or more balls of this yarn, and now through Sunday, we're also going to give you the Traveler pattern by Andrea Mowry. So that is it from me. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Make sure you take time to do something kind for yourself, and I will see you again on Tuesday. Thanks for watching.